Now it turns out that you can add vectors in any order. So you can add vectors in any order. And what I mean by that is you get the same answer no matter what order you do. So to show you mathematically, you might see something like this in your book. You might see A vector plus B vector, close parentheses, plus C vector. What this means is first I add A and B and I get an answer. And then I take that answer and I add it to vector C. But it's going to give you the exact same answer if I do it like this. And I'll explain once I get it all written down. B plus C. On this side of the equation, it means forget about A. I don't even do him at all. I go over here to B and C. The parentheses mean I add B and C together, I get an answer, and then I add it to A. So you see, no matter how I do the ordering, whether I add these first and then this one, or if I add these first and then this one, I'm going to get the same exact vector. So what we're going to do to begin with is I'm going to give you a system of 3 vectors, and we'll add it 2 different ways. We'll add the vectors in different orders, and I'll show you that you get the same answer. And then I'll show you how to handle it if you have 5 vectors at once, how to do it really easily all in one step. So firstly, let's go off and take a look at the case when I have my friendly neighborhood. What do you think this is? This is a ball, golf ball, baseball, soccer ball, basketball, whatever you want to call it. And I have 3 forces acting on this ball. The first one is a force acting straight up, and I'll call him F1. And then I have a force acting straight to the right, and I'm going to call him F2. And then I have a third force kind of acting at an angle, something like this. And this one's going to be F3. Now, you know, this is graphical, so I'm drawing it on the board. I'm doing my best, but I cannot keep the arrows exactly the same. But you're going to be able to figure out that if you were to use a ruler and really get everything perfect, then the general idea of what I'm showing you will be true. So I have 3 guys here, 3 arrows, and as the more and more vectors you start adding into this thing, it's going to be a little bit harder and harder to figure out what's going to happen. Like, which way is this thing going to go? You can figure it out with 3 forces, but when you have 6 or 7 forces, it might be tough. So we use the vector addition method to figure that out. All right. So what I'm going to do first is let's add F1 and F2 together, the first 2 vectors. Let's call it vector A. And then we're going to take the answer we get from A and we'll add it to vector 3 because we want to add all 3 of them together. So let's do that first. So first of all, we're going to add F1 and F2. So we're going to have F1 is going to be going up like this. And then I'm going to grab F2 and I'm going to move him tail to head. So this is F1 and I'm going to take this guy, F2. He's going to be F2 right here. Notice it's tail to head. So now that they're tail to head, I can add F1 and F2, and I'm going to call this guy the resultant. But instead of calling it FR, I'm going to call it something new, A vector. Why am I calling it A vector? Because I'm going to take A, which is the answer of F1 and F2. I'm going to take A and I'm going to add him to F3, and I'm going to see what we get. So let's now take this guy, A, the answer, and let's go over here and let's add A. If I can draw it right, A is going to be, no, too steep. A is going to be more or less something like this. Yeah, something like that. A is going to be like this. And notice our original drawing, F3 was acting at an angle, so I'm going to add him. I'm going to go ahead and draw him like this. Right? But I can't add them like this. I have to draw them tail to head. So let's go and draw him tail to head. So let's go ahead and redraw A exactly the way it was. And then we're going to take F3 and we're going to move him, so this is A, down here, F3, like this. So then we're going to connect, since they're all tail to head, we're going to connect them in a straight line, tail to head like this. And this is the resultant force. Now, honestly, it's a little hard to predict from this exactly which way the ball is going to go. I mean, you have a force going down, you have a force going this way, and you have a force going up. But it turns out that when you add them all together, you actually get a totally horizontal force purely to the right. Now, I know my arrows weren't perfect. I know they weren't exactly right as far as the lengths and the angles. I'm doing it freehand. But still, you can see that even if I'm off a little bit, the arrows are almost completely pointed in the horizontal direction. That is kind of hard to predict just from looking at the problem. But what we did is we add F1 and F2, got an answer, and then we add that to the third vector and get an answer. right? So this is the answer we got. Now, let's do it the other way. Effectively, what we've done is this one. A plus B, get an answer, add it to C. Now let's do it differently. Let's add another order. Let's add it this way. Let's add F3 plus F1. In other words, I'm picking another random order just to show you. And then let's add to that F2. So we're going to add them in a different order than we did before. So what is F1? F1 is the upward force. So let's go ahead and write this guy as the upward force. F1. And we're going to add to that F3. That's the downward force. Now, in reality, it's acting right here, but I'm going to go ahead and just take it and move it tail to head because we know we're going to add it anyway. So this guy is going to be F3. Okay? And then the resultant of this guy, we're going to call A again, just an intermediate answer. And then we're going to take A and we're going to add it to the other force that we have, F2. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we have is, let's draw our A vector. This is A. This is the answer to the first guy. And then we're going to add to it F2. And I'm going to put him tail to head. So we're going to go draw him like this, F2. What do we get? Well, they're already tail to head, and so they're already lined up. If you connect this one to the tip of the other one, it's just a straight line through both of them. So what do you get? You get a single arrow off to the right. We're going to call it the resultant vector. Now, again, my distances are not quite right. This is not exactly the same as this, you know, because I'm drawing it freehand, but you can see the same thing happens. You get a horizontal vector acting to the right. And if I were to get a protractor and a ruler and everything and make it exactly, because these lengths are not exactly the same as those, then I would get exactly the same thing. The resultant vector in both cases is the same. So you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief because when I ask you to add vectors on your test, it doesn't matter the order that you add them. I can take any two of them, if you have three vectors, and add them and get the answer, and I can add it to the third one, and I will get the correct vector result. All right? Now, in this case, we were doing different order of adding. Now, it turns out that you actually don't have to do it like this at all. In other words, you don't have to add two of them, get an answer, and then add it to the other one. We can actually add all three of these guys together all at once. So let's go ahead and do that. That's actually what you do most of the time. We can add all three at once. How do we do that? You just arrange them tail to head. So the first one we have is, well, the way we're going to write this down, I guess, vectorially, is it's going to be F1 plus F2 plus F3, all in one operation. So F1 is going to act straight up. Let's go ahead and write this guy that way. We're going to first put F1 acting straight up. Okay. And then F2 is acting horizontal. So I'm going to grab him and put him tail to head. So if I put him tail to head over here, he would be horizontal, but tail to head means he would be basically here. This is F2. And then I'm going to grab F3, and I'm going to put him tail to head with this one, F3. So he's going to be something like this. Notice I just connected them in a chain. I kept the same orientation of everything, but I just made them a little chain, tail to head, tail to head. What do I get? So it's freehand, it's not perfect, but what's going to happen is I have a vector going horizontal like this. I'm going to call it F resultant. This is the resultant vector of those forces. And when I compare it to this, I get the same thing. And when I compare it to this, I get exactly the same thing. This is actually what you do most of the time if you're adding vectors graphically. You just stick them tail to head, create your chain, and there you go. So they all match. Now notice I did this one, and this one, and this one, but it actually doesn't matter. I can do it all different ways. I can do this one, and then I can do this one. Why not? Let's just do it differently. Since we're talking about it, let's just do it differently. Let's keep F1 the same. But instead of adding F2, let's add F3 to it. If we add, this is F1. If I add F3 to it next, it's going to be like this. This is F3. And then F2 is going to be going to the right. I'll add him tail to head like this. This is F2. So how do I get the answer? It's kind of hard to draw, but basically I'm going to start from the tail of this all the way to the head of the other one, so I'll draw it underneath. The vector is going to be like this, F resultant. Exactly the same vector. It doesn't matter the order you add the vector. You get the same answer. It's just a fact of geometry, really. It was more than anything else. So for our final example, because there's not much more to it than this, we are going to do a final addition with a ball, our favorite thing. right, our ball. And we're going to add not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 forces to this ball. And this will be the last problem we do, because once you have it, they're all the same. So here's force F1, vector force F1. Here is vector force F2. Here is vector force F3. Here is vector force F4. And here is vector force F5. So if I ask you, which way is this ball going to move, or I guess I should say, what is the resultant force? If I were to sum all the forces and make it one force, what would be the equivalent force acting on the ball? It's kind of tough to see, because some of it's this way, some of it's this way. It looks like it's kind of going all over the place. However, notice that this one's acting down, this one's kind of acting down, this one's kind of acting down, this one's kind of acting down. Yeah, the angles are weird, but they're mostly acting down. And then there's going to be a little bit of a push to the right. So mostly the ball is going to be going down, but also kick to the right a little bit. So let's see if we get the right answer, and it's not going to be a huge surprise. We should get basically the correct answer. So let's start with F1. We're going to go F1. He's going to be to the right. This is going to be F1. Then I'm going to grab F2. I'm going to grab him and arrange him tail to head here. So F2 is going to be about this long, if I'm drawing it right. That's F2. And now I can do F3, F4, and F5. Yeah, I could, but I'm going to show you. It doesn't matter the order. Let's go and do F5 next. That's a shorter vector, also pointing down. So this is F5, a little shorter, like this. And then let's do F4 next, which is this one to the right. I'll grab him tail to head, like this, F4. And then let's do F3, finally. This one here, I'll do tail to head. He's longer, so I'll do him like this. This is F5. That is more or less what you should get, arranging head to tail. This is the order in which I'm adding them, but you'll see the final answer isn't going to actually matter the direction I go. So what I'm going to have is, if I connect the tail of this one all the way to the head of this one, this is, and of course I can't even draw a straight line, but you get the idea. It's the resultant force. So what is it? It's a big force acting mostly down, but also kicked a little bit to the right. And the kick to the right is because of this. Also a little bit because of this is kicked a little bit to the right also. But mostly, most of the arrows, as its sum total, is acting down, and that's why the arrow does it that way. Now I'm not going to do it again because it'll just take too long, but if you add these vectors in a different order, like F5 plus F1 plus F5 plus F2 plus F4 plus, then the arrow chain will look different. But the final resultant arrow will be exactly the same. All right, that's basically what's going to happen. That's it. That's adding vectors graphically. Every other problem that you ever see is going to be done all the same way, whether it's velocity, acceleration vectors, electric field vectors, magnetic field vectors, force vectors. However, whatever your problem is, you add them the same way graphically. Now, in the next section, we're going to talk about what happens when you multiply a vector by a number. And then after that, we'll start learning how to deal with adding vectors in terms of their components. So we'll dispense with all the arrows to do it that way. So follow me on to the next section. We'll multiply a vector times a number, which is what we call multiplying by a scalar. Learn anything at mathandscience.com.